Hey guys, Lucas here. Today we're actually in Kyoto. We went all the way out here by bullet train, and we're gonna explore the city, do some street photography, some like kind of architectural photography of the temples. We're starting here at Kiyomizu Temple, which is a very famous place in Kyoto, and we're gonna make our way down through the streets all the way to Gion. And who knows, we might even run into a geisha there later on. All right. Of course, if you enjoy the video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And of course, leave any comments or questions you want below, and I will do my best to go through and answer them. All right, so let's get on with it. Yeah, so here we are up on this famous terrace, and to be really honest, we're here a little bit early. We're trying to time this video between dusk and sunset, and then eventually some evening stuff. So ideally, I'd be shooting here a little bit later because the light's a little harsh. But we're still gonna get something here, this iconic view of the beautiful Momiji and then the temple rising above them, looking very magical. And yeah, it's hard to get a very clean exposure, so I'm gonna underexpose my shot by one step to try to get as much of the sky exposed properly as possible. Yeah, it's pretty good. In the autumn, of course, this is all red from the trees, a bright sea of red, but still it's quite beautiful, it's green. Right, so now we're going to try to find some more interesting details around the temple to shoot. So here people are buying wishes and fortunes, I guess. Not 100% sure, but that's typically what it is. Yeah, it says omikuji, so they're buying fortunes. And then you pick it out and it tells you if you have good luck or bad luck or whatever. I just kind of like the scene. The lights are really beautiful right now, so I'm trying to see if I can catch a good moment. Those are okay. Let's go farther in, maybe we'll get something good. And this is like a very straightforward shot, but it's kind of hard to resist because it's so gorgeous with so many details. And the light is nice, kind of early sunset light coming from the side. There we go. So we're just kind of walking around the temple, and there's this little kind of tea house or restaurant or something here. And actually, here's a great shot opportunity. Now, this is often the case with the RICOH. Oh, by the way, probably you guys don't realize, but I lovingly call my RICOH Ricky. So RICOH kind of struggles sometimes with things that are far away like this. But in this case, the surrounding environment is interesting enough that I can have tons of context around my subject, and it doesn't diminish the photo. So I don't mind shooting really wide. Now, some of you may also be wondering, well, wait a minute, Lucas, what about the crop mode? Why don't you use the 35mm, or I think there's also the 50mm crop modes? And to me, it's just, I'd rather just crop it later. I don't like to, crop now, especially since you can't uncrop it. And I might decide that, actually, after all, I prefer the wider one. Now here, I'm gonna switch for a moment to snap focus. Okay, and then choose a distance of, I don't know, 5 meters? Yeah. Because I think the camera is actually trying to focus on the plastic tarp that's in the foreground, and of course I don't want that. I want it to focus on the interior. Okay, very nice. All right, so we're exploring the temple, and as I said, we got here a little bit earlier because just timing and whatnot, so it's still kind of harsh light, but there's kind of a stormy atmosphere, and the main entranceway here, which is this big gate, actually looks really cool against the sky. Now, the way it looks to me right now on the camera on the screen is quite dark. When I look at the histogram, it looks like that's going to be okay. I'll brighten up the shadows later, and I think it looks pretty epic. It's a simple shot, but kind of an impressive view of this thing, this kind of famous thing. Anyway, we're going to go higher up into the temple, and there's another gate up at those stairs. We're going to try to shoot through that and see what we get. All right, so here's the other gate, which you can't actually pass through, that I was mentioning. And what's cool about this view, it's kind of an iconic view from Kiyomizu Temple, because you can see through the gate, and then you can see Kyoto beyond, because actually this whole temple is up on a pretty big hill, on like a mountainside. And there's a couple cool ways we can do it. So just straight along. Okay. The nice thing that I love about the GR, you know, I mean, not only this camera, but definitely it's easy on this one, is that the lens is so small. So I'm going to get lower, and that's going to create this wild reflection. And then of course I need to go to f2.8 to enhance that reflection. There we go. So yeah, they're coming out quite dark here, but you know, I'm going to work on the raws later, brighten them up. I could shoot at a slight angle and create maybe a more interesting composition with the other gate beyond it there. And the reflection effect as well from the side here. All right, let's see if we can keep going. Move on from here. We're going to start heading our way down Nine-zaka, which is this kind of winding road full of shops and all that, which is going to take us more or less straight to Gion. All right, let's get going. Famous little spot here in Nine-zaka, that staircase. Now, one nice thing about, you know, what's going on these days in the world with no tourism is there are no tourists. Usually that staircase is so jam-packed, you can't even really walk through there. It's like you're in line for a concert or something. Now, just up ahead here, there's a really cool spot that I like. There's this little garden. And then inside the garden, in this building, there's a really nice shooting opportunity. So here we're going to go into this cool little passage. Okay, so here's this really cool moody passage I like shooting. And so I'm going to get nice and low here. And here, because it's so dark, I want to keep the shutter pretty low. But also, I find I'm just going to go full manual here just to get the exposure exactly how I want it. There's also a window here on the side with a reflection on it. That might make for an interesting addition to the frame. Would love to get a lady in a kimono, of which there are many around these days, on a day like this. Just need a little bit of luck. Those were good. But yeah, like some vivid colors, you know, so they pop. Well, that was pretty good. It's funny because I was just thinking like, there's nobody coming, and then suddenly it was like a whole train of them all at once. Now them coming in like that, yeah, that wasn't what I was ready for, but actually I think I got at least one or two good ones there. That's pretty cool, like silhouettes. Yeah, honestly, what more can you ask for in Kyoto? Yeah, so that was a really cool moment. And in the moment I was, changing settings, and I just want to point out that at first I was on a slower shutter speed because people were farther away, and I wanted to have enough light coming in so I don't have to crank the ISO. But then I changed my strategy because I realized as people are walking through and towards me, if they walk towards me, they'll be motion blurred. So I sped up the shutter speed to about 250 or 320. And I'm very glad that I did that, because otherwise the shots I just took would have been kind of motion blurred, which might have still looked cool, but I think they look better as kind of frozen like that. So yeah, just something I want to point out, that in that moment I didn't really have time to say because I was focused on getting the shot. All right, guys, so now time for chapter 2 of our Kyoto exploration. We walked all the way down Nine-zaka, which is kind of a winding street, as I said, of shops and whatnot. We didn't get too many other things on the way after that shot we just did with the cool girls in the kimonos. That was really nice. But we made our way all the way down to this shrine behind me here, which is called the Yasaka Jinja, Yasaka Shrine, right on the edge of Gion. So we're going to get some shots in there, all right? Beautiful light. So this is what I was saying earlier. You know, we were trying to like get this golden light at Kiyomizu temple, but then, you know, so we're getting it here, which is good. This is what I was hoping for. It's beautiful sunset light, which is really common in Kyoto because this part of the city is all kind of built up on this mountainside. And because it's a bit elevated, you get plenty of sunlight coming in. And also there's not a lot of tall buildings in Kyoto like there are in Tokyo or Osaka to block the sun. And finally, there are mountains very far out on the west, but you know they're not that super high, so they don't block the light either. So you get these long, drawn-out shadows, which is very gorgeous. So let's see if we can make this light work for us for some cool shots here. That was nice. Cute little moment. That's when snap focus comes in handy. I had it set on 5 meters and I just did the full press snap. Easy peasy. I think here we'll get the silhouettes that I wanted to get. Oh yeah, look at that. Now that's the shot. So that's what I was trying to, hoping to get as we got closer to here. So now it's just a matter of getting the exposure right. So I'm gonna go full manual to make sure I get the exposure as I need it. 250. Shoot one right now, but actually that's a little bit too bright. Okay. All right, and then I'm probably going to get a little lower maybe, or nah, not lower. I want to get higher so I could see that silhouette along the ground. And then 5.6, 250 should be good. There we go, and then it's just a matter of getting that right subject. And of course, when it rains, it pours. Suddenly there's a bunch of people when I really only want 1 or 2. And I'm doing the whole exposure manually here because I find it's more reliable, The camera does a good job metering, but in a situation like this with all the contrast, the harsh light, it's really difficult to get it perfectly exposed consistently without using manual. One thing I love about this small camera, like a RICOH like this, is that I can hold it high up really easily. It's light, it's small. So here we go. It's not bad. But yeah, the shadows are so long, which is what I was mentioning earlier. All right, so we're gonna keep going. The sun's gonna set and we're gonna explore Gion as it gets dark. All right, so we're heading down the main street here in Gion, and it's cool and all, but I like the side streets, so I'm looking for a cool little alley around here that we can duck into and then explore the back streets of Gion because they're more moody and atmospheric, and there's more opportunities for interesting kind of street photo type moments. So I think there's one right here. Yeah, perfect. So we're gonna go in there. All right. So eventually these little back alleys and passages lead to this part of Gion, which is sort of the not the part everyone thinks of with all the traditional buildings where all the geisha hang out. Although you might see geisha on these streets as well. That's not uncommon. Some of them live around here. Around these streets there's what's called okiya, which is like a kind of like a boarding house where the geisha live. And there's some in this area too. They're on, all over Gion. Oh, here we go. Let's go through this passage. And here, there's this shrine that I like. It's very photogenic because it has these lamps all over the place. And it looks great in this kind of early blue hour light right now. Great colors. I'm gonna shoot this in a pretty normal way here. Nice slow shutter, 1/60, f4. I like this composition, like a little hint of the tori on the left there. There's a row of lamps, some nice colors. And then get a little closer here. Get the whole thing again from the front. A little bit tight because I can't move too far back. It's a nice simple shot, simple scene. Looks cool. Yeah, so I love these little back passages. I mean, the main area is cool, sure, but this is where I like to hang out. I feel like there's more opportunities for interesting stuff. Let's go down this street. Oh yeah. I like this place. This is cool. This is a very cool structure here. Nice geometry. Actually, probably should make a smaller aperture here. Here we go. Nice. All right. I wonder, can we go up there? Let's take a look. Got some nice views of the utility pole. And I'm a big fan of utility poles. Let's see if we can go a little higher. Why did you run away? We were looking around in this building and then this lady came. She appeared out of one of the places and Axel, the guy behind the camera, he panicked and ran away. He thought we were going to get arrested. But she was very nice. I chatted with her and she said, and I told her, like, I just thought the architecture is cool. It's an interesting building. I'm just taking pictures and she said, oh, you should check out the roof. So I came out here and took a few photos too. There's some cool views. I really like that silver thing up there. It's got an interesting vibe. The sky is looking very beautiful right now. And I've never been up here. This is a cool perspective on Gion. All right, so that was a fun little adventure, and we'll keep going. Yeah, and that's what I like about areas like this, where you never know what you might come across, what kind of opportunities there are. And yeah, this building is pretty cool. Kind of wish I could shoot it from farther away so I'd get more of it into my frame here. But this is still pretty cool. All right, let's move on. Ooh, another nice combo of wires here. Fantastic. Because it reflects in that wall in a really good way. So I'm going to get closer here and get a stronger reflection. Oh yeah, I wish I was a little bit taller. It's going to be tough to get past these letters. Yeah, I mean, that's cool, but I'm not getting quite the composition I want because it's kind of out of my reach. It's like very uncomfortable to get my hand up there, but let's try right here maybe. I'm trying to get these letters out of the way, but maybe I can do it from here. From here, because I can slow the shutter down more, I'm gonna go to F8 and down to just a 15th. So I'm gonna get the same exposure. And the reason for that is I want more of this sharp. All right, guys, so we found it. I found the little lane. I don't even know if it has a name, but I love this little passage because it's, as you can see, it's gorgeous. And I'm gonna start shooting right here. I'm gonna have my This is actually where a tripod would come in handy, but honestly, I can get the shutter speed so low. Let's do it on a 10th. And then f2.8 and 500 ISO. And it looks great. Yeah, gorgeous little lane. And you know, would be nice to get someone coming through, but that's highly unlikely. I mean, there are some people coming, but they're like regular people, you know, you want someone with a kimono or something. If this was the peak of tourism last year or over a year ago, there'd be tons of people here. Let's let this guy through. Right, fellow photographer. Not the kind of subject I'm really looking for, but hey, you know, he can be in there. There's a little human silhouette. All right, guys, so I got here, but actually, card's full. Shot so much today. And yeah, I think this is a good place to end. I think we shot a ton of stuff that was very interesting around Kyoto today. And getting hungry, so we're gonna wrap it up here. All right, guys? So thank you so much for watching. Of course, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. And also leave any questions or comments you might have below, and I'll be happy to go through and answer them later. All right, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.